Federal judge giving the White House 21 days to turn over emails from officials, including Dr. Tony Fauci and Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, that were sent to social media companies. It's all part of a lawsuit filed by attorneys general of Missouri and Louisiana, accusing the administration of colluding with big technology companies to censor information on Hunter Biden's laptop, COVID-19, free speech on elections, you name it, they censored it. The White House now dodging our questions on the judge's order. Listen.
I can't comment on any specifically ongoing litigation, and so again, we would refer you to Department of Justice. A couple of things that I would say on just as a general matter on this, as we've said over and over again since the beginning of the administration in our battle against COVID-19, it has been critical for the American people to have access to factual, accurate, science-based information.
What about if those communications are still happening? Are there frequent contacts between the administration and social media companies?
So I'll say this, as we have said before, there has been ongoing work dating to the Trump administration to provide accurate COVID information where folks get their news.
Joining the conversation all morning long, Fox and Friends First co-host Todd Pyro and Bell Point chief strategist, host of the Money Runner podcast, David Nelson. Gentlemen, what a pleasure to spend the morning with you. Todd, you're a lawyer. First, also, your reaction to this ruling by this judge that the White House the administration is going to have to hand over any relevant communications.
There's two ways to look at this. One, there's the legal. I think this was a long time coming, and it is so essential because the number one argument you always hear from the left when it comes to social media censorship is that, oh, they're private companies. The First Amendment doesn't apply. They can do whatever they want. And while that is 100% true, that does not attach when the government is involved. The government is taking a step to actively censor. And that's where that Section 230 immunity issue comes in. And so I think this was an important first step politically. I think Republicans, if and when they take over the House coming up in November, they need to take this across the finish line, keep their foot on the necks of this, and make sure that these social media companies do what they need to do. If they want to be completely private, go for it. But the moment you start interacting with the government and doing the government's bidding, you lose that Section 230 immunity. And yes, at that point, the First Amendment and free speech does apply.
And we know, and you make such a terrific point, Todd, about the First Amendment. We also know, and this is separate from the attorneys general suing over this matter from Louisiana and Missouri. So it's Eric Schmidt and Jeff Landry. But we also know from David a lawsuit involving Alex Berenson, the writer, again, involving Twitter, that there's evidence that Biden officials wanted Twitter to ban Alex Berenson. And he's back on was put back on the platform. But again, that is a violation of the First Amendment if Berenson was kicked off that site at the urging of the White House.
Certainly not the only one that was kicked off. I think a lot of Americans understand what's going on. It's been a very, very heavy hand. There was a time probably 12 to 18 months ago, if you even questioned some of the advice coming from the medical community, you were banned, canceled, thrown off the platform, and possibly even lost your job. And, I can't speak to the legal point, but on the legal front, Section 230, that's going to be very, very important for these companies. A large company like Google, certainly Facebook comes into line. We all saw the interview with Mark Zuckerberg. Are we really surprised? The FBI comes to you and says, we want you to do something about this. There's a credible threat. Of course he's going to act. It's not his fault. It's certainly government's fault.
The two attorneys general refer to this as the censorship enterprise, and they have written, under the First Amendment, the federal government should have no role in policing private speech or picking winners and losers in the marketplace of ideas. And indeed, the question, and Todd, I'm going to end with you on this, the question is how much misinformation was peddled by administration officials, by their heavy hand on social media companies, because we know what they, starting with Tony Fauci, at the beginning of the pandemic, you don't need to wear a mask.
Yeah, I mean, Republicans weren't going to these social media companies and saying, you can't do this or you must do this. Obviously, the messaging was strictly on the left. It was strictly Democratic left messaging. And so you got their sense of the way things are, and implicit in that, Dagan, was some misinformation, if you want to call that. And so, to your point, we've gotten this sort of skewed view of reality where now you're starting to see doctors coming out and saying, I told you back 3 years ago that XYZ was the case. You canceled me. I lost my medical license in some aspects, in some circumstances. But, you know, it turns out I was right. And the fact that that happened in the United States of America is chilling. And that's why, Dagan, I think that this ruling or this request by this judge is so crucial. This could be a first step to getting to the bottom of what is censorship on the part of the United States government. It can't happen in our country, and it needs to stop.
And when it comes to Hunter Biden's laptop and the reporting by the New York Post that was censored by Twitter and Facebook, it gets to the root of potential election meddling. If it was
100%.
Right? If it was coming out of Democrats. We're just getting started this morning.